Now this might be obvious to some of you, but I don't actually continuously use all of the fitness tech here. In fact, having reviewed over 102 pieces of fitness tech on this channel since we began 18 months ago, there's only a few that I still frequently use. The rest stay here so that I can occasionally check in on them for new updates or use them for future video comparisons. But today I'm gonna let you in on a secret and tell you which fitness tech I actually use. Now within this list are 11 items, 10 of which I still frequently use, and hidden among them is one that I do not. Now in the comments below, if you can correctly guess which piece of fitness tech I don't actually frequently use, and you are subscribed to Connect the Watts, you will be eligible to win a brand new Tempo Studio worth over $2,000. Make sure to stick around to the end of the video for more details on how to win. So currently my primary focus is on becoming a better runner, and while I've tested a lot of smart watches and sport watches that I really like, my favorite by far has to be the Garmin ENDURO 2. And look, I'm training for a half marathon, and I know that this is way more powerful of an endurance watch than I personally need, but there's just so much that I like about it. Of course, I don't need a battery that lasts over a month, but I love the fact that I never have to worry about charging the ENDURO 2. And with a top-notch offline navigation system, which I honestly use all of the time, and the best flashlight I've ever seen on a watch, which I use every single morning and night so I don't wake up my family, it's just such a nice tool to have. Now, while a lot of smart watches like Garmin and others have good heart rate variability and recovery and tracking, I have found none to be nearly as useful as the Whoop 4.0 armband. So when possible, I try to wear my Whoop in addition to the Garmin, and while the HRV and recovery tracking is more reliable than any smartwatch that I've tested, the main reason I wear Whoop is for the behavioral tracking and analysis that you get. I test a lot of fitness tech out, and sometimes it can be pretty hard to tell if something is actually aiding my recovery and sleep or not, but Whoop makes it extremely easy to record and get this analysis, and nothing else that I've tested has given me anywhere near this amount of useful information. So Whoop has been a huge game changer for me over the past year. And now while we're talking about heart rate variability and recovery, the thing that has helped my recovery by far the most this year has got to be the cold plunge, which is essentially an ice bath without the ice. So you can adjust the temperature anywhere you would like to, as low as 39 degrees. And if you haven't read up on the benefits of regular cold plunging, I highly suggest it, as I've noticed so much better energy and recovery since adding the plunge into my daily routine. Yes, it takes a while to sort of get used to, but it's so very much worth it. And while the cold plunge has been so good for my recovery, it's this device right here, the 8 Sleep Pod 3, that has been helping me dial in my sleep. So the way 8 Sleep works is that it uses a thin matrix of water in a mattress cover that you can control the temperature of with your phone, making it as cold as 55 degrees or as hot as 110 degrees. And so you can either manually set a temperature schedule based on the different phases of the night, or you can have the AI do it for you to best optimize your sleep. But either way, it works really well. Both sides of the bed can be controlled separately, and I actually use it as my alarm clock as well. But instead of having an alarm, I just have it set to go to like over 105 degrees when I need to get up. And what I found is that this makes waking up feel much better and more natural, even though it's still on a scheduled time that I need. And while we're on the topic of recovery, here are 3 more pieces of fitness tech that I use that I find really beneficial. First is the Normatec Go, which is basically a mini version of their larger leg compression system, which I have as well, but because it's so small and easy to use, I just find myself using the Normatec Go much more often. Also, to aid with muscle recovery is the Therabody Pro massage gun, which is really the best massage gun you can buy. Now, it's absurdly expensive, but if you really want to treat yourself, it doesn't get any better than this. Another device I've been using are the Razer ANZU smart glasses, which not only have speakers which connect via Bluetooth so you can listen to anything, but also these are blue light blocking glasses. So if you want to block those harmful blue lights at night so it doesn't mess with your sleep, these will help you do that, which I find pretty useful, especially since a lot of times I'll be taking like a Peloton class or something later at night. Now there's a lot of fitness equipment I use, but with my current focus on running, here are the devices that I'm using the most. First is the NordicTrack 2450 treadmill, and I love this treadmill for a lot of reasons. It folds up and down, it can adjust the speed and incline automatically, but mostly it's because of the running coaches on their iFit platform. But I'm not always running, and so I like to mix things up a lot with a variety of other rowers, climbers, and bikes. but the one connected fitness device I've used the most this year has to be the Peloton Bike Plus. I think Peloton's biking coaches and programs are great, especially their Power Zone training, which is by far the best program I've seen on any connected fitness bike. It's a ton of fun to use, and there's a reason Peloton is #1, and it's because their content is so dang good. Now, in terms of lifting weights, I have a lot of options in my garage, but when I don't want to head in there, if I'm following a Peloton class or whatever, I prefer to use more space-efficient adjustable dumbbells. And my favorite adjustable dumbbells currently are the NordicTrack iSelects. And one reason I like these so much is because they don't feel overly big and bulky as some adjustable dumbbells do, but the main reason I like them is because of how fast they change weights. Literally within a second, you can go from 5 pounds to 50 pounds, and when you're following along to some workouts, having an adjustable weight that can change this quickly can be really useful. Now, when it comes to strength training, what I'll typically do is 1 to 2 movements with the barbell, and then often I'll take a more dumbbell focused strength class. And my go-to for strength classes is the Tempo Studio. Because look, I've been coaching strength training for over 15 years now, and I just really value having a well thought out progressive free weight strength program with rests and reps and sets that all make sense for good long-term results. And no one does that better than Tempo. And what I like about the Tempo Studio specifically, even more so than the smaller, more compact Tempo Move, is that while you can use the adjustable smart weights that are included with it, so it can automatically record your reps and the weight that you're using, but you can also just use your own dumbbells. And since I have so many dumbbells in my garage, I just really like having that option. And when I told Tempo that I would be including them in this list, they reached back out and asked if I wanted to be able to give a brand new Tempo Studio away. And so of course I said, hell yeah. And here's what you need to know if you want to win that Tempo Studio for your very own. Step 1, if you haven't already, subscribe to Connect the Watts. Step number 2, in the comments below, correctly guess which item I don't actually use. And step number 3, check for the additional giveaway details in the video description below. And we will be announcing the winner on this channel on November 20th, so make sure to subscribe and check in for that. Again, this is Colin with Connect the Watts. Appreciate you being here, and I'll see you next time.